Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm gonna be doing the video tonight on a little bit more scenery because I found a new product. It's $2.96 from Walmart called Green Lawns. You'll see it in the holiday decorations for Christmas. And I know I'm probably way out of focus. I can't even see my own camera right now. But it comes. I've already got one unwrapped. I bought two of them. It comes in a nice sheet. Now this sheet can be used one of two different ways, and I'm going to show you the two different ways that I've been using this sheet here in just a second. So let me get around here. Alright, now I'm trying to make a nice little wheat field. And as you can see from the little tractor, it does make a pretty nice wheat field. Even sitting beside it, it just barely comes up over the front tire. And that's good, because that's about the size of a wheat field. Well, wheat grass when it's growing. I didn't cut this piece perfect, but it'll work. But this is the piece I'm about to lay down. That little notch there, I'll just have to blend in. Alright. Well, not every field's perfectly straight anyways. Could just blame that on the farmer. But we know where it goes, and what I got is dollar store tacky glue. Alright, we're going to lay down some tack glue. We're just going to slide this right on up. And of course I missed a spot. It's a little bit longer than what I thought. But if you ever run scenery materials up to the edge like this, it does help you out, because it gives somebody viewing the layout a point where they think, hey, there's more to this than what I'm seeing, because it comes out further out the front. Alright, so we just take it and get it in place. Take some T-pins, which again, for me, I get them from the dollar store. They're about the same length as the ones you get from Woodland Scenics, maybe just a hair bit shorter, but they're the exact same thing. And you get 100 of them from the dollar store for $1. You get 25 of them from Woodland Scenics for $3. Kind of a better way to spend your layout money is to just go to the dollar store, see what they got in the craft aisle. You could surprise yourself on what you can get for $1. You got a little bit of it up there. Now, I had yet to finish this before I got to really show you what I'm doing with the video. And we're just going to see how this works out. I've got my 50-50 white glue here. That's not my 50-50 white glue. That's my 50-50 white glue. Alright. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread a nice layer out and around this field. Just an inch or two. I mean, quarter inch or so. Ugh. I'm talking like a carpenter right now. Alright. I do like these little bottles because they come with that little spreader attachment. Alright. So there we go. We got all the way around that edge. And crap. Give me 1 second. I misplaced something. No, that's rock. There it is. Alright. There's my fine turf. Alright. This is just earth color or dirt color. Woodland Scenics ground foam. A bit more in there. And there we go. We got a nice little wheat field, complete with a dirt ring all the way around it. And that's all there is to that, and you get a nice little scenic effect. Now, I've got one more thing to show you. Alright, let's say you want a little bit of weed. Well, not the drug, but a little bit of weeds growing somewhere on the layout. I got this little brown spot here, and I'd like to take care of. Just a little drop of tack glue in there. Alright. Now, as you can see, I've already done this a little bit. Just take a pinch of it off and stick it right there in that tack glue. Alright, there we go. We got that nice little green tuff. And we can do another one right about here. Literally just pull it right off the mat and not need the bagger for a job like this. Now, I've seen products like this from Nock and quite a few other companies. Now, you're getting about the same to this one grass mat as you would from a Nock grass mat. Alright, that's exactly the same square inches. I measured them and checked them. The only difference is that this stuff costs $2.96. Alright, $2.96. I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be a little loud. I didn't realize I was on the wrong side of the camera. The Nock products that I've seen and the other products from Heike, I believe it is, are between $17 and $25. That's crazy. And this is the reason why I wind up buying products like this. It's just as good, just as effective, but much cheaper. And if they get their heads out of their butts and realize that cheaper stuff actually sells quicker, we might have more modelers. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. We just put in a complete grass field. We put in 2 small tufts, which here I'm gonna pick you up, so mind your stomachs. Alright, we got a whole field done. We've got these 2 little grass tufts here. I'll come over here, and I did the pond the same way. I went through and I put patches of it on there. I might go back through and paint the tips tan and get us some cattails are growing. Alright, I'll be right back with some final thoughts this time. Hey everybody, welcome back. Final thoughts time. Now, I bought these without realizing the pen was riveted to it. I'm not going to use these. Anybody, really, what I'm asking today, and I wanted to do this outside, and I probably will do it outside next weekend. I need to figure out a way to butt modules together that would have very little play and always line up. So I was thinking about doing hinges. Is I could remove the pin to take the layouts apart. But when I go to put them back together, they can't go side to side too far. They can't go up and down. They can't go in and out. It would automatically lock them in the same position every time. That's what I'm thinking. I need to get more hinges. But I want some other advice. I've never built a module layout before. I've never built a layout that you take apart and put back together. I've always built layouts, even for customers, that were one solid piece. I really want to know, is anybody out there knows a good way to keep exact alignment every time with very little to no play, way to connect modules together? I was going to use these so that way once it's pinned together, once all four is connected, they're drawn together tight. They can't fold because you've got another hinge that's working against it, or a pin system, or even a clamp working against it. And this will keep it all in line. It can't go back and forth. It'll make sure that every time I put it together, it goes together exactly the same. But I just need some advice. And I know this is supposed to be final thoughts. This is supposed to be me giving my brain to you. This is my final thought. I could use some advice. Other than that, I hope you really enjoyed me doing the grass for a change. I know it's been a while since I did any scenery work, but I've actually been looking for cheap materials to use for scenery work. There's not a lot out there. But we're getting some things done. You know, you're learning, I'm learning. I mess up, okay. But at least you can learn from my mistake and not make your own. Other than that, I'm glad you guys really are watching, because I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just basically giving you my knowledge for free. I've got no Patreon subscribers. I've set up Patreon pages. No luck. I don't have a PayPal account anymore because PayPal is so crazy anymore. I can't keep up with them. And I'm just trying to do what I can do for you. If y'all like it, give me a thumbs up. Tell others about it. Maybe somebody else will subscribe to it. I have a good friend, Roy, who just got into N-Scale. He could use some Kansas City Southern or BNSF locomotives, I believe it, that he told me. Look him up. It's Container Man 68. He could use some help with getting some equipment together for his N-Scale layout. Even if it's not free. Me, I'm looking for free because I really don't have the money. I'm raising 7 kids and a wife. So, raising her is the big pain in the butt. But in total, that's kind of the best that I can do. Right now, he's got a DCC problem too. Roy does. I think it's a motor contact, making contact with a frame or somewhere in the wiring doing that. Because I've had a locomotive before where the headlight would stay on all the time, but the decoder wouldn't respond at all. And I kept thinking it was me, and I kept taking it apart, putting it back together, trying to figure it out. And here it was, just a little whisker of a wire coming from one of the motor contacts to the frame. Wow. Shows you just how much you can overlook when you're frustrated. But he might need help figuring out how to get an exploded view of this thing too. Other than that, I know Vinny could use anybody's help if anybody wants to help him out. Eric Hall's been doing great. I think he's still out of work though. It's IMRO.com. I think he still is on the unemployment line. I don't know for sure, but see what he's got. If you got something you ain't using, see what you can throw his way, because I'm pretty sure he'd be more than grateful for it. We got Sparky, our neighbor to the north. He's probably, heck, I don't even know anymore, but he's just getting some really cool stuff. I mean, you got to check out his videos. He just got a F40PH for Canadian National, I think it is, or the other one that's up there, I can't remember. Canada Pacific. But these things are just really cool, really decorated. They're from Rapido. There's only going to be 150 made of each set. The sounds are amazing. The lights, all the lights are working on the thing. It crawls straight out the box. I'm talking speed step one is doing probably half a mile an hour. It's a really, really nice model, and they do really, really good work. So check out Sparky 107 107. Check out Eric Hall at imro.com. Boy, that's a hard one to remember. And Vinny, BNSF 6951, and Roy and his new expansion of the layout, which I think is really cool because it's done with this aluminum shelving you would find in a restaurant, and it just blows me away the way he's getting that thing put together. That's Container Man 68. That's Roy. Please check these guys out. Oh, and Jay Raby, Rail Rider Raby CSX, and a bunch of numbers. His kind of hard to remember too. Jay, I've got one last piece to cut. That's it. The house is done. I've got one last piece to cut, and it's the pain in the butt little triangle that goes on top of the roof between the two roofs. Then it's just simple work, and it's being boxed up and going to you. Alright, matter of fact, hold on one second. Let's hope I can handle this without it falling apart. It's only being held together with tack glue. That's the last piece I need to cut, bud. Other than that, the whole thing's ready to go, unless you want me to do chimneys. I dropped the roof off of the side when I picked it up, and this thing's fragile enough, but it's just tack glue, bud. Once I pull this off, I'm going to be taking a toothbrush to it, cleaning it up, and sending it your way. With a complete set of instructions, too, so that's going to take me a little bit. But it's the same farmhouse that I built for mine, except for the fact that because I did have a photo this time, I went back and figured it all up and got it all a little bit more prototypical for you. Alright. I believe I just covered everything and everybody that's been helping me out. Jay helped me out big time. He sent me extra locomotive that I really need to pick apart and clean up. A couple more cars and stuff like that that I've been needing. Finally found out something about something that you did send me though. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, there it is. This car, anybody recognize it? I mean, did it show up for anybody? It says Southern Pacific Air. It's got some good detail. I'm sorry, it's a silver car and I got a light right there, so. Now, I read the bottom of it, and it says, high speed, made in China. Number 419. Alright? And I got to looking at it, and I got to thinking about this. Now, I had a Southern Pacific GP38 as a dummy locomotive a while back that I gave to a cousin of mine. When he turned 1 year old. This was years ago. I got it from my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother said it was part of a set. She gave me a car, too, that went with it. I remembered where I seen high speed before. This locomotive and this car, I believe, don't think it was a flatbed. I think it was, yeah, it was a flatbed with a pipe load. They're actually not N-scale models at all. Yeah, they do have the old style Rapido hook coupler that actually does fit with the N-scale equipment, but there's no spring. So, it's just as solid as can be. I got thinking about that. See, years ago, in the early 90s, in order to boost readership, somebody had a promotion of a whole Southern Pacific freight train. I think it had about 5 cars to it, a caboose, and a locomotive. None of it ran. It was all display only. Produced by High Speed in China. It cost them about maybe 3 or 4 cents a car. No tracks, no nothing, just a bunch of little boxes with these little cars in them. If anybody can name the monthly publication that ran in the 90s, I think it was like 92, 93, I can't really remember, you can correct me on that too, that came out with a whole Southern Pacific train. If you can name that publication, first of the month is coming up, I might have something for you. You gotta let me know if you know the publication. If you guess it, I'm gonna go ahead and dig through my hobby fund and see what I can do for you. How's that sound for a contest? Name the publication that made a complete N-scale train, even though it was a dummy, for display in the early 90s. Go for it. Let's see what you come up with. I'll give you 2 weeks.